Namaskar viewers and welcome to our today's episode. Today I want you to imagine something. Imagine this, that you have prepared a nursery bed, you have sown the cauliflower seeds in it, and after a few days the seedling starts to emerge from it. Don't you feel excited? But within a week you see that many of the seedlings have started to bend, rot and even vanish. Here the silent thief is damping off, and it mainly affects the cauliflower in the seedling stage. So in today's episode, we will understand what damping off is, what causes it, how it spreads, and what are the conditions that make it worse, what are the symptoms of the diseases, and also the preventive and the control measures along with the integrated pest management practices that a farmer can follow. So throughout this session, we have Dr. Tasveena Rehman Bora, Senior Scientist Plant Pathology, as an expert who will guide us about this topic. So welcome ma'am to this channel.
Thank you, Chitra. I am happy to be here and share the information with our farmer friends.
So ma'am, to move ahead, I would like to ask you a very basic question. What is damping off disease in cauliflower?
It's a very nice question, Chitra. So damping off is a very common and serious seedling disease of cauliflower and other crucifers.
Okay,
it affects the seeds, germinating seedlings and young plants and cause them to collapse, rot and collapse.
Okay.
And it is caused by soil-borne fungi and oomycetes, and it can result in heavy losses of the nurseries if not managed properly.
Okay ma'am. So thank you ma'am for that explanation. Through this we know that what damping off is. But ma'am, farmers are often curious what actually causes the disease to happen. Is it something there in the seed, soil or the environment?
Yeah, damping off is mainly caused by soil-borne fungi like Pythium, Rhizoctonia solani and Fusarium.
Okay ma'am.
So these fungi live in the soil for a long time and attack the seeds and seedlings when the environmental conditions are favorable.
Okay.
Like too much of moisture and then overcrowded sowing, then waterlogging, as well as the poor soil aeration creates the perfect environment for this fungi to grow. So and they cause heavy loss when they can attack the seeds and the seedling at an early stage.
So ma'am, now this makes sense that it is not only the seed but the soil and the environment also plays a major role in causing this disease. But ma'am, now the big question is, once these fungus are present, how the disease transmit from one seedling to the another?
Yeah, that's an important point. Like the damping off disease spreads mainly through the soil and the water.
Okay.
Like where this fungi remain in the soil for long and they can cause infection once the environment is conducive, and like the contaminated seeds, the infected seeds and the contaminated soil, even irrigation water can carry the fungi from one place to the other, as well as the nursery tools, then trays, then even the shoes of the farmers can also transmit the fungal spores from one place to the other. However, like if we go for heavy watering with the splashing water drops, the fungi can be transmitted from from the sick seedlings to the healthy ones. So the farmers see ultimately that the damping of disease spreads very rapidly in patches.
So ma'am, this clearly explains why damping off is very much difficult to control once it appears. But ma'am, there might be some condition which can make it worse. So can you tell our farmers what are the conditions which influences the spread of damping off in the cauliflower?
Yeah, damping off becomes very severe when the environmental conditions are favorable, like high soil moisture and poor drainage. These are the main reasons. However, like the disease also thrives well when the humidity is high, above 80%, and then the temperature is moderate, around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, and acidic conditions, continuous cropping of cauliflower or other cruciferous vegetables promote the disease to be carried over from one season to the other. And so in short, wet conditions, high humidity or overcrowding, which allows less light to penetrate around the seedlings, and also less ventilation or air circulation is there. This promotes the disease.
So ma'am, now we know what are the conditions that make this disease flourish in the field. But how can a farmer recognize in its field that this disease is present? I think we should now educate our farmers regarding the symptom of damping cough in the cauliflower.
Yeah, it's very true. This is a very crucial information our farmers should know. So, like basically, damping cough is characterized by two type of symptoms. The first is the pre-emergence damping cough. Here, even before the seedlings germinate, they are killed in the soil only. That's why the farmers see very poor or patchy germination of the seeds. The second is the post-emergence damping cough symptoms. Here, this is very common, which is instantly recognized by our farmer friends. Like here, like the seedlings, it emerge, but within short time it collapses at the soil line. The stem becomes thin and water soaked, and it collapses at the base, that is at the soil line. So within a day or two, the seedlings after emergence, they just collapse and die in patches.
Okay ma'am. So now I think it is very clear for our farmer friends that you have to watch out for both the missing seedlings as well as the collapsing work. But ma'am, knowing the symptom is just a start, and we know that prevention is always better than the cure. So can you tell our farmer the step they can consider as a preventive measure?
Yeah, prevention is the key to avoid this disease to come from coming to the nursery. So at first, the farmers should emphasize on using certified disease-free seeds. And like we should always go for preparing the nursery beds, raised nursery beds, avoid waterlogging, and we should also see to it that the proper spacing of the seedlings are maintained, so that there is sufficient sunlight penetrating to the nursery beds, as well as there is proper air circulation. And we should be very careful in watering the plants. So we should never overwater, because soil moisture, it causes the disease and helps the fungi to perpetuate in the soil. And moreover, we can also go for treating the nursery beds with safe fungicides like 1% Bordeaux mixture, and also we can go for treating the seeds with biocontrol agents like Trichoderma. So with these steps, we can prevent the disease from attacking our seedlings in the nursery beds.
Okay ma'am. So ma'am, now let's say a farmer has observed the damping cough disease in their nursery, even after taking some preventive steps. So what are the control measures they can adopt in order to save the rest of the seedlings?
Yeah, if damping cough disease somehow is there in the nursery bed, immediately we should go for rogging out, that is taking out or removing the infected seedlings. And then we can also rely on spraying spray drains with 1% Bordeaux mixture of the nursery bed. And also, however, we should avoid chemical treatments as far as possible. But 1% Bordeaux mixture is a safe fungicide, and it is allowed under organic farming system. And however, for long-term prevention and good care of the soil management also, we can use biocontrol agents like Trichoderma harzianum as well as Pseudomonas fluorescens to take care of these pathogens. However, we should always be careful about keeping the nursery bed with less of waterlogging conditions, or
Okay.
remove the high soil moisture from the soil.
So, ma'am, that sounds like a very balanced approach, which includes removing infected seedlings and using fungicides very carefully, and also encouraging the biological solution. But, ma'am, nowadays farmers mainly focuses on a very safer and a long-term solution, which combines various methods. And I think here only the integrated disease management, or IDM, comes into the main picture. So, can you tell our farmers about the main IDM practices they can adopt in order to manage the damping of disease in cauliflower?
Yeah, integrated disease management would be the smart way to prevent and control this disease from occurring, and integrated disease management practices take into account the cultural preventive measures, the biological control, and if necessary, we can also resort to the chemical methods.
Yes, ma'am.
So, under cultural preventive measures, what we can do is the right from selection of the site. Good site should be selected to make the nursery beds,
Yes, ma'am.
and the nursery beds should be raised so that there is no waterlogging in that, and then we can go for soil solarization,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as we can, in the biological control methods, we can go for treating the seeds with biological control agents such as trichoderma, and also we can go for soil application of the biocontrol agents, that is the trichoderma hirsutinum or the Pseudomonas fluorescens, and also a mixture of that we can go for that, because these biological control agents, they promote the beneficial microbes in the soil and overpower the pathogens if it is present in the soil. Then as a last resort, if then also we have the problem of damping off in our nursery beds, we can resort to like using or soil application of safe fungicides like the 1% Bordeaux mixture.
Okay.
So with all this, taking into account the cultural, biological, and if needed only the chemical control measures, we can prevent the disease from occurring, and as well as we can also manage if the disease somehow occurs in our nursery beds.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, those IDM steps sounds very great, but sometimes farmers want a checklist which they can easily follow in their field. So, if you have to tell them about a very direct, easy to apply recommendation, what would those be in order to manage damping off in cauliflower?
Yeah, like there should be a checklist, or the recommendations will be like which will be very farmer friendly, and they can very well always practice, so that this dreadful disease is never occurring in their nursery beds. So what they have to do, our farmer friends can always rely and use certified disease-free seeds.
Okay.
And they can also go for seed treatment with biological agents, as I have already told you, that with trichoderma and Pseudomonas. So then we can also go for preparing our nursery beds in a raised way, so that there is no waterlogged conditions, which and as far as possible we try to sterilize the soil by exposing it to the sunlight, that is soil solarization. And then what we can do, we should always go for like this one, rotating the crop, that is, if we are growing crucifers in this nursery bed, we can always rotate with other crops, so that the same damping of pathogens do not get the food supply, and they grow in the soil. So then again we should be, once we have done the sowing, then we should take care that the soil is sterilized, as I have already told, and there in the soil, we can promote the growth of the beneficial microbes like the trichoderma and pseudomonas by using biocontrol agents, soil application. And then after that, when maintaining the seedlings, we have to water the seedlings, and there we should be careful that we don't go for overwatering, so that the soil moisture is not high, and when the spacing of the seedlings should be such that it is not overcrowded and it lacks sufficient amount of sunlight as well as good air circulation. Then finally, if somehow we see that this disease is initiating in the nursery beds, immediately we should remove the disease plants and destroy them, and then we can also treat the soil again with the biocontrol agents. But then also, to be in the more safer side, we can use safe fungicides like 1% Bordeaux mixture soil drains we can do. Okay, so with this, we have to ensure that the soil moisture is maintained at a very low level, and this we can ensure with avoiding waterlogging conditions, as well as so that sufficient light penetrates to the nursery bed and there is good air circulation. So if our farmer friends follow these steps or the recommendation, they can avoid the damping of disease from occurring, as well as reduce the losses caused by this disease in the nursery itself.
So thank you, ma'am, for the clear and the practical tips. Now our farmers also have a complete guide from understanding what damping off is, how to prevent it, how to control it, and also the IDM practices which they can implement in their field. With these practices, farmers can get a cauliflower nursery which is healthy and productive. To wrap up with, damping off seems like a very small problem in the seedling stage, but it can cause a big impact if ignored and not managed properly. But here, the good news is that with the right knowledge and practices, including using healthy seeds, preparing a well-prepared nursery, and careful watering, and also using the biological and the chemical controls in a safer way, farmers can ensure and protect their seedling and also give their crop a good start. So dear farmers, take this tip to your nursery, implement them, and see your seedling flourishing. And that's all for the today. Until next time, happy farming, and thank you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time with us. So see you all in the next podcast with a new topic and with the new knowledge. Namaskar.
Namaskar.